Hello, greatness. You are welcome and tuned into Heirs of God TV, perfecting saints to become like Christ. Stay tuned for another inspiring episode from your host. And now, let's welcome Dr. Vincent Oppong.
Hello, greatness. How are you doing? I believe you are doing excellent. So we want to continue from lesson number 3 from the book, The Way Beyond. The Way Beyond. Lesson number 3. He said, God is the real you. My goodness. God is the real you. Now, let us relate this truth of God being all in all to yourself. If He is all we have stated, then He must be the real you. My goodness. He must be that higher, greater you we pointed out earlier in this message, whose life is illuminating your body and whose mind is influencing all your thoughts, your speech and actions, and whose power enables you to do all things that you do. For it is He that worketh in you both to will and to do according to His good pleasure. It must then be His consciousness that is your consciousness, but stepped down through your higher self to your soul, and then to your human mind, expressing itself on the spiritual plane in your higher self as the Christ consciousness, on the soul plane in your soul or your soul consciousness, and on the physical plane in your brain mind as mortal consciousness. But it is all God's consciousness relayed down through your higher self and enabling you to be as much aware of God and the real self of you and the one self of all men. For is He not all in all? As the channel of your darkened mortal mind has been illumined to perceive Him and to partake of His consciousness. It is said that to know God, man must first know his self. And when you truly know that you are not a thing of flesh and blood, but a human soul or a center of consciousness, clothed by a garment of flesh, even as your soul clothes your real or Christ self, the Holy Spirit or consciousness of God. As we have shown above, you can begin to understand how God actually is within you or is you. Now, let us consider you first as a soul, a center of consciousness. And then we will try to show you the relation of your soul to your human mind and your higher self or your spiritual self. You, in your integrity, are a soul. You are a pure consciousness. In other words, you are that which is conscious or aware of all that comes to you from without through the avenue of your 5 senses, through vibrations which they are not sensitive enough to perceive, such as impressions and thoughts from other centers of consciousness. All of these sensations are brought to your consciousness through the mediumship of your human mind. And so while the vibrations mentioned are received directly by the soul and are interpreted to the mind according to how the mind has been prepared to understand them. As a soul or consciousness, you are distinct from your human mind, for the mind serves merely as an instrument to receive and inform you of what comes from without in the world of matter. Yet your mind is in reality an outer extension of your soul consciousness, slowed down to the mental capacity of your human brain, there serving as your agent in the informing you of all things going on in the physical world and the carrying out of the instructions pertaining to that world. Let me take that part again. That's powerful. He said that as a soul or consciousness, you are distinct from your human mind. For the mind serves merely as an instrument to receive and inform you of what comes from without in the world of matter. Yet your mind is in reality an outer extension of your soul consciousness, which has been slowed down to the mental capacity of your human brain, and there serving as an agent in the informing you of all things going on in the physical world and the carrying out of your instructions pertaining to that world. In that partial and necessarily limited consciousness, your mind grew to think itself as a self and separate from you in your soul consciousness. In this fancied separateness, it gradually filled its consciousness with all those wrong concepts and beliefs about physical and mental things spoken of above, which grew so real and tangible in its consciousness that they in time ruled all your thoughts, your speech, and your actions. And this outer and fancied separate consciousness is what constitutes your lower or mortal self. But these concepts and beliefs should have no influence over your soul consciousness, only as you let them. The proof is when you get quiet and still your mind and shut out all thoughts and impressions coming from without, then you are in your pure soul consciousness and are free to be aware of the impressions that are coming from within your soul. For then you learn that deep within the soul there is a higher consciousness and a spiritual intelligence that presses the soul from within, informing you of spiritual things, even as the outer mind's consciousness presses from without to inform you of material things. My goodness. And that higher or innermost consciousness is that of your higher or divine self. So in reality, there is only one self, but this enables you to see how the higher self, which is the Spirit of God in man, reaches down or out from center of man's being in divine consciousness into the soul consciousness, and thence outward into the mind mortal or the mortal mind, giving to man's brain its consciousness, which causes man to think his consciousness as separate, when it is only the very consciousness of God that has been thinned down to the brain's mind capacity to hold and to use it. And that brings us to the end of lesson number 3. God is the real you. God richly bless you. I will see you in the next episode or the next lesson, your God self. Again, what we are sharing is trying to show you that there is a way beyond what you know. The second lesson, we talked about the way out, that in the midst of your struggles and difficulties, there is a way out. Now in this book, we want to show you the way beyond, right? The way beyond. Initially, these two books were all together and was written as anonymous by Joseph Bernard. So you can see how he writes. He wasn't writing to please anybody, so he wrote his books as unknown, right? But later on, we were able to discover that he was the one writing these books. So I'll see you in the next episode. There is still more to go, couple more lessons to go. So God bless you. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like, and join the conversation by putting your comment in there, and I'll join you. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Heirs of God TV, perfecting saints to become like Christ. Thanks for tuning in, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on becoming all you were born to be.